There's 150 million orphans, around the world today. Whether they're in Washington, D.C. or China or Russia, it doesn't really matter. They're without a home. And I believe, according to the Bible, that we're all called to do something. Maybe not everyone's called to adopt, but if you are called to adopt, take the first step and see what happens. See where God meets you. That would be my advice. Don't wait. Don't be fearful. Take the first step. See what happens.
I think when people are giving that nudge for adoption and they feel called, I think it's pray about it and then just be open to the path that God's gonna take you on. And we tell people all the time, not everybody is called to adopt. That's not something everyone has to do. But for those that are called to adopt, I encourage you to step out on faith and walk that path.
From my experience, just seeing the need of kids, both domestically, but especially internationally. In Ethiopia, the kids live in culvert pipes on the road. So to say that we don't have enough here, or a few years down the road, maybe I'll be more prepared. I think a kid is missing the chance at a family in a situation that's, regardless of where we're at here, much better than where their circumstances there.
Adoption is a calling. It's not Plan B. It's not a second choice. It's not, if this doesn't happen, then we'll do this. It is an example of God's redemption, both for the children and for the adoptive families. And if adoption truly is a calling that God has given you in your life, then you should be open and willing to accept whatever that means. Whether it's a child of a different race, whether it's special needs, whatever it might be. If adoption really is a calling that as believers we are asked to engage in, and as a couple you may, or as a single person, you may be called to actually adopting a child. Be open to what the Lord has. Don't try and box in what that means.
There are times when it's overwhelming. There are times when it's even frustrating. And, I think there's different areas where you do start to question either the process and or the decision. But if you can go back and remember, that God is leading this, then be encouraged by that it is a beautiful process.
And just try and keep the proper perspective that, this is all God's timing. It's His plan for your family, and just go where He says go, and stop and wait when He says wait, and just be patient.
Adoption is challenging, yet the most amazing thing ever. But with that said, I would say make sure that you do have a support system around you and that you're not an island, because when you get home, you need help. You need help with wisdom and to know how to parent, because when you get them home, they are no longer orphans. They're sons and daughters, and it's step up to the plate and figure out how to guide them and love them through their hearts that are broken and their confusion that's happening. And I think the support system you have around you, whether it is your adoption agency or your church or your family, whatever that may be, you're going to need somebody who's been there and done that, and not necessarily just with adoption, but with parenting in general.